So a lot of you guys have probably heard about Minecraft, and in Minecraft, you can do a lot of things. You can fight monsters, you can do magic, but one of the most interesting things about Minecraft is you start off in a very natural, primitive world where you can see it's raining and there's trees and dirt and animals. There's a pig running around, and you have absolute, complete control over the world. You can do anything you want inside the world. Like you can see here that I can break trees and collect the wood. I can break the dirt. I can dig down. Every little bit of the world is modifiable by you. You can select blocks and build things and make towers. And one of the reasons that I think this is fascinating for mold avoiders is that one of the problems with mold illness is modern construction, of course. And so my kids and I play in Minecraft, and we make houses and we go on adventures and we do stuff. But one of the things that I like to do in Minecraft is sort of let my imagination run away with me and build a house. And this is a house over here that me and my kids built together. And we didn't really go by any plans or any, diagrams. We just sort of picked a spot in the world that we liked, and we built this house. And I think a lot of inner, I guess you could say, subconscious truths about buildings and houses come out when you do this. When you're a mold avoider, you kind of build what you want. Like you can see that we made this house out of brick. We could have made it out of wood, so I kind of gravitated toward the bricks. We built it right on the ocean, which, this was like a dream mold avoider's house with the ocean air. And you'll notice here in the bedroom area, now remember that every single part of this house is chosen specifically. None of it is automatic. Like I could break this block and replace it with a different one. So every single thing here is intentional. And this bedroom is where me and my kids sleep. They have their own bedrooms in the house, which I'll show you in a minute. But you can see that here's our beds. And you can see that this is an open air bedroom. It does have a protective ceiling above it so that you don't get rained on. Right now it is raining. Minecraft generates random weather. But it is an open air bedroom where you could sleep with the ocean air just sort of blowing in, and there's nothing that can rot. It's all solid walls. These blocks are just sort of decorative blocks. You could replace this with a different style if you wanted to. And you can see that if you look right over the wall here, you are looking at the vast view of the world and nature. And that's my son's house over there that he made with lava and other materials. You can just do whatever you want. And I just really like the opportunity that this gives you to sort of reimagine construction without having to deal with conventional housing and building codes. I mean, obviously you would need to, have an engineer to make something like this in real life, but it certainly would be possible and not even that hard. Right now, my family actually owns in real life a cinder block garage that was actually very cheap to build and very similar to this, and is actually pretty well insulated. So if you walk out here, you'll see that in our little master bedroom here, where our beds are over there, there is a outdoor fire pit that is all open air. And if you go down into the house, down this ladder, this is my youngest daughter's room that she designed herself and put her carpet in, and she made a little cage for her pet dogs. You can see she has these pet dogs in here. And she has a door that goes out onto this covered porch with vines coming down here, and a staircase. You can see through the skylights into our living room that my older daughter designed with sort of modern furniture down there. And then if you go to these stairs over here, you can see my older daughter's room, Addie, And she designed this room how she likes it, with a flower pot there. She has a dog there. She has a window here. She has her bed up here. And you can even, so as I go down, I'll show you guys this because this is sort of related to mold avoidance too. You can even see that we built this house. I don't really know how to use this ladder here, so I'm going to make another space. We built this house sort of right on top of nature. You can kind of see that this is the grass and the dirt, and you can walk through the tunnels here to get to our front door. And that's like a tunnel, and then we have our primary front door up here. But you can see that it is a very natural building. It's made out of stone. It's right on top of the ground. That's my son's house, his creativity. And then we made this formal entryway that you can come in with some fireplaces. You know, if you were to buy this house in real life, this might be a $20 million estate or something. But every detail, there's wild horses running around. You can tame these horses and put saddles on them. You can do pretty much anything you want. But the point is that every single detail of this house is created by you. There's nothing pre-populated in this world. My daughter made a diving board here that you can jump off into a pool. And every single detail of this. So you can build other styles of architecture. In a minute, I'll show you the house that my older daughter, Addie, is working on across the way. But pretty much every single thing about this is an imagination of what housing could be. I'll show you how creative it can get. Here is like an art room that we made. You can see all these fancy designs on the walls, and we put a spider web in there to make it kind of creepy and fun. There's a table in the middle. There's all these different art patterns on the walls. So you really are unlimited in what you can do. There's a ladder that goes down here into our upper room. This ladder goes all the way to the bottom of our house. There's my youngest daughter's room. There's my middle daughter room that I showed you already. Here's the basement. You can fall through a trap door in our living room and go down to a, let's see, how do I do this? To a kind of an underground cave area. That's why it's called Minecraft, because you can create all these caves. And I will show you a house that my middle daughter, Addie, is working on with a completely different architectural style that she likes. If we come over here, that's my son's house. There's a bird flying on the roof. I think her house is over here. So this is my daughter's house, which is a modern style, where you can see everything is kind of modern and sleek and smooth. She's not done with it though, so it's not ready yet completely, but there she is. See, we can play in the same world at the same time. That's my daughter, Addie. It says Steve just because it's a default name that populates, but she was able to pick her her skin. That's called a skin. It's like what they look like. Addie, look at me. I'm behind you. So you can see she has like a purple shirt on and long hair. And so she's working on this house over here, which is a whole different area than my house. And Minecraft actually has all these different biomes. This is like a coastal ocean biome. They have snowy, there's an icy biome over there. So it's just kind of a fascinating reimagination of what is possible with architecture and construction if you kind of remove the variables of money and building codes and engineering, and you just say, hey, this is what's possible. And like, I mean, of course, you know, if I was a billionaire, I would build this in real life. I would go out, I would buy a 50-acre parcel on a tropical island, and I would hire, you know, contractors, and I would make this, and we would live in this. Like, this would be like our actual house. You know what I mean? Like, this is what's possible if you are not limited by the arbitrary barriers of building codes and OSB board and particle board and garbage building materials and moldy houses. This is what you could live in. You could live in a house that's made out of concrete brick, and you could have a bedroom that's right by the ocean, that's open air, so you get a breeze through here. This is kind of like why mold avoidance is so hard, because this kind of thing doesn't exist. It used to exist. I have to imagine that if you travel to a lot of ancient civilizations that are, 500 years behind in their technology and their architecture, you would find a lot of buildings like this still, like the Greek Isles and whatnot. So anyway, that's a little tour of our Minecraft world. I mean, you can see all these random things that we built. I mean, you can just, put blocks anywhere. It's also a very creative place where you can just kind of let your imagination run wild. But that's not really the part that fascinates me about Minecraft, because, that is cool. But the part that really fascinates me about it, you can see it's getting light now. There's the sun rising. There's a day-night cycle in Minecraft that's very realistic. But what fascinates me personally about Minecraft is that it's a place to reimagine housing and shelters and structures. And the crazy thing about this is that a structure like this, again, like I said, would not even necessarily be very expensive to build. We have a cinder block building on our property in real life, and it's not expensive at all. It's just that the building codes are going to fight with you all day long about not using particle board and OSB board. So this is just a cool, like, I encourage people to play with Minecraft and build things and see what their imagination leads them to. Your ideal house might be different than mine, and actually I think there's a lot of intuition involved in what housing people would find healthy and where they would want to live in emotional and a physical healthy environment. I'll show you here just for a second that you can open up your inventory here and choose all of these different building materials and blocks to use, and you can plant flowers and hatch animals, and there's all these weapons and materials. I mean, it's unlimited in terms of like primitive building and living resources. So you can kind of imagine your ideal environment, and it doesn't even have to be brick. It can be wood. It can be anything. It can be anything you want. It's kind of interesting to see what comes out of your innermost subconscious mind when you're just free building in Minecraft and building whatever you want to make, that is just totally unrestricted and has no limitations at all in terms of architecture and engineering and money and location. I mean, you can literally just build whatever you want. It's fascinating to see what happens when you do that and what people choose to make when they do that. So thanks for watching. I hope you guys install Minecraft and play around. I hope you guys install Minecraft and enjoy this for yourself.